I just always start every movie with that kind of mania of insecurity, and I just thought, like, God, if anyone sees what I'm doing before I'm actually shooting, I'm just always terrified of getting fired, having nightmares every night.
The genre, it's a psycho thriller. It's not exactly a horror movie, but it's chilling. It's a hybrid. It's a weird mix of genres.
I mean, I've been trying to think what appealed to me at the beginning was kind of like I couldn't really get my finger on the tone, but then on my first read, I was kind of like, I couldn't even tell if it was supposed to be funny. I was like, is this sort of accidentally funny, or does he not know it's funny? And when I was talking about it, it's like, no, this has to be. Like some of these kind of euphemistic lines, I mean, it has to be. But it's very kind of subtle. But literally until I was standing outside the first screening, I had no idea if people were going to laugh when they're supposed to laugh and stuff. And I kind of describe it more as a sort of surrealistic, dark comedy, kind of like a Buñuel, like a kind of Un Chien Andalou kind of that kind of thing, where it's kind of, you had these like incredibly grotesque images, but it doesn't feel the same as how it's presented in a horror movie. It's just, I don't know what that is in surrealism. It's just kind of presented to you. Like, it doesn't feel like anyone's creeping up behind you or anything.
So my sense of this movie is that it has a high degree of difficulty. And I wondered if you recognized that when you first read it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a kind of weird combination because it's a difficult script, but it's not difficult because it doesn't make sense. So it felt very whole, and it was very, very well written. So it's difficult in that you kind of know that it's down to you to mess it up. It's not really, there's no turd polishing involved, which is always nice.
So then you get to this inclement, rocky, volcanic outpost in the middle of the weather, and then what happens? You're almost acting with the weather.
Yeah, and then it became a lot easier though, because it's kind of, as long as the elemental challenges are the same challenges the character's facing, then it's not a handicap at all. I mean, it's just another bit of inspiration. I mean, it's kind of, other than the camera being there and a lot of these scenes, it looked exactly like the world that these two characters would be inhabiting. So it was actually pretty easy. It was kind of stunning. It's funny because the movie looks so grimy and dirty, and when you were there, it looked like a Bruce Weber photograph. I mean, it was like the most beautiful kind of Montauk Americana-y place. I mean, you just shoot it in black and white, and it looks like this sort of austere kind of Tarkovsky thing. There were days when the waves some of the shots of the waves going over the lighthouse, that was what was happening. I mean, it was absolutely crazy, but it's nice, and you kind of, I don't know, and it does something to your face, you kind of get windburn, and it's just different when you just feel a little bit craggy and raw. It's so much better and nicer than putting makeup on them, and it's just a completely different thing.
So what was the most challenging thing you did? Was it the walking on the rocks in the wind and the waves, or?
I think there are a few things. It's the simpler parts physically were actually really different. There's a scene when I'm running out, I feel like I've sort of seen a body in the ocean, and I kind of run back to shore panicking. But it doesn't really look like much in the movie. But it was soaking wet ice rocks, and you're running in kind of period correct shoes, and you just see these blades everywhere, and to run as fast as you can. I mean, I just remember getting up and being like, okay, this is it. And it doesn't, and you would never have known how dangerous it was afterwards. But that run was absolutely terrifying. And I don't understand how I didn't. I think even not falling over, you kind of end up with like massive cuts all over you.
Well, you've got some tough guy stuff ahead of you now with the Batman. When I saw you in Cannes, you said, I'm not allowed to talk about it, only the Lighthouse.
I didn't even know them when I told you that.
That's right, it hadn't been confirmed
It hadn't been confirmed. I thought I was going to get dropped afterwards.
But I love it that you're going to work with Paul Dano.
Yeah.
That's a good match.
So cool. I love Paul.
And he takes a good punch. Maybe you can give him a few.
No, Paul's wonderful.
So you've been working on the Nolan? You've been shooting since May?
Yeah, long time. All around the world.
Like where?
We're in India. I don't even know. Like, I can mention the places that we've already got paparazzi pictures of. So there's
Verified.
A bunch of places. But I think it was in 7 different countries. And but yeah, it's been unbelievable experience. And the hardest working crew I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it's huge.
So one of the things I love about your career trajectory is that you have pursued the kinds of directors that we write about at IndieWire, and you even, the Safdies, Good Time. I love the idea that you're contributing in a weird way to their success as they move forward. Have you seen Uncut Gems yet?
I saw a very rough cut of it, which is brilliant. But have you seen it? Do you like it?
It's really good.
Yeah, and they're the best. They're awesome.
You're taking chances on people who haven't been necessarily established as successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of. But I'd seen with the Safdies, I'd seen Heaven Knows What, and it's and anybody could see it. It was kind of it fit into my sort of oeuvre of what I wanted to do at the time. I wanted to do. I loved seeing Caleb Landry-Jones being indistinguishable from people who are sort of playing themselves, and I was thinking like, that's how I want to, that's the world I want to be in. So it's kind of, and I'd kind of seen vague representations out in different movies, but it was so well done, and it's a credit to Caleb as well. I mean, it was such a brilliant performance, but I just love the way they shot, and I love the way they did ensemble stuff. And then it's a kind of similar thing with Robert Eggers. I mean, everyone loves The Witch. Like, it's kind of, but it seemed that thing where it was a very clear and full world. Like, it seemed like you can point the camera in any direction. You can see, when you're watching the movie, it feels very lived in. It doesn't feel like he's just set something up just for the shot. You can really feel the production design. And also the intricacy of the dialogue, and you can see the amount of research in it. It's just, there's something very singular about his filmmaking. So it's nice working with a director like Robert, where you, I would I'd want things to be defined and explicit at the beginning, and I'd ask Robert all these questions, going like, is this in my mind? Is this in Willem's mind? Is this actually a magical thing? Are they just going insane? Are they just like completely wasted? Like, what is this? And I would kind of come up with a bunch of different concepts and be sort of blathering away at Robert for ages. And then I was like, well, which one is it? And Robert's like, kind of all of them. And I was like, okay. And it's kind of, I don't know, I know it's always kind of weirdly frustrating doing the ambiguity, but I mean, it's kind of, I didn't feel like I needed to define it on any level, really. I could feel what he was trying to say. Even if it was just, especially with the light, even if all it was just Willem's character just saying, you can't come in the room, and that's it. And it's just induces mania that it's like, I've got to get in, I've got to get in, I've got to get in. And I think everyone's experienced that to some level. Like, it seems just someone telling you no. This is probably one of the more aggressively strange movies I've ever done. And I've done quite a number of them. Like,
Cronenberg, Safdie's. I mean, the great thing about Twilight was that it gave you fuck you money.
Not even that. I mean, even before Twilight, I was doing weird stuff. And to be honest, I always saw Twilight's pretty weird. It's like, it's really just the kind of the marketing that made it mainstream. I mean, if you look at any interview I did about any of it, I would be pushing the chewing through placenta, like any element which I could make gross. Like, push and push and push it to the front. But you know, you can't compete one guy against the whole marketing department going like, oh, it's a romantic odyssey, it's beautiful. Like, no, it's disgusting. But
well, now we know what your taste really is.
Any movie I'm in, I try and make it art house.
Thank you, Robert.
Cool, thank you.